Hey everyone, Buddha here, bringing you the second match between our first pro player in the Gamecom tournament. His name is xSixCheesy from Vile Gaming. His opponent will be none other than eyekenspel. He is number 1 in his Diamond division, so he can definitely take a game out of Cheesy if Cheesy is not careful. This is game 2. It is now 1-0 for Cheesy of this best of 3 series, and in case you guys don't know what the Gamecom tournament is, you can check it out at gamecom.plantronics.com/sc2. It's an open tournament where all players are free to register. There are $2,000 in prize pool at the end of the tournament for the top 8. So very interesting for an open tournament to have that big of a prize pool, and that is definitely a first. Gamecom, very nice, trying to work their way into the Starcraft 2 tournament and community, and hopefully they will bring us more tournaments like this one because they are awesome. There are around 1,000 players in this tournament, and this is only round 2, so still a lot of games left in this tournament, so definitely check it out and try and follow our pro players. Hopefully Cheesy will send me the rest of his games. He is the one who actually submitted this one, so thanks a lot for Cheesy. And now it is loser's pick, so eyekenspel actually picked this very large macro map. Last game, Cheesy decided to use his name, and he actually 6-pooled his opponent and completely ravaged him. He got his spawn crawler up in his base, and that spelled disaster for eyekenspel. Little unintentional pun there. And now at least both these players are going for 14 gas, 14 pool, even though this is a very macro-oriented map and this expansion is so easy to take. They are deciding to go for the safe build and get the speedling opening, both of these players. So mirror builds right now. You can see that eyekenspel is actually getting his overlord just a tiny bit faster. Maybe that is a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, I don't know. Both of these players actually getting it on 15, and I think that you can actually pull it off on 16 if you are fast enough. So we just might have to wait and see what happens here. Cheesy actually saving up some larvae, so expect 4 lings to come out as soon as his pool finishes, and there we go. He does have 50 minerals, not using them just yet. He has 100 minerals saved up, so he might be seeing an expansion. No, he does decide to actually build 6 lings, so he will be able to put the pressure before his opponent eyekenspel. Now he did scout his base. He knows that there are only 4 lings out. His speed is actually just a tiny bit ahead of his opponent's, but that might not make such a big difference unless these lings are caught off guard in the middle of the map, which they might be because 6 lings are now working their way across to intercept them. So if these are chased down, that 2 seconds speed ahead might actually be enough to catch up and pick them off before they find some reinforcements. These 6 lings will intercept. 6 are always better than 4. Remember, it is exponentially better if you have more units. 6 lings will be able to pick off 4 lings with barely losing a single one if your opponent actually micros perfectly. Both of these players now getting a baneling nest, so we will see some bling action. That is one of the most micro-intensive builds that you can do in ZVZ because, well, these banelings, you actually have to send 1 ling at a time to detonate the banelings so that you don't take any more damage than you can. These lings are actually going to engage here. I do believe that Cheesy has the advantage if he engages. Gonna maybe pick off 1 ling. Eyekenspel is actually retreating back to his base, meeting up with all these lings, and Cheesy will have to go back and meet with these reinforcements. These banelings morphing, a lot of banelings actually morphing in, so he will be able to actually chase this down. Meanwhile, eyekenspel is going for fast expansion behind this build, so these banelings will be defensive, not actually morphing in any banelings as of yet. He really should have 2 up here just for defensive purposes. And now that is a lot of banelings actually making their way up in the main base for Cheesy. And eyekenspel morphing 3 banelings here in the middle of the map. These are very vulnerable. These banelings could get some huge shots off, killing 4 lings here. Nice little micro, and gonna try and walk up the main ramp. He does manage to 2 banelings for 4 lings, now killing a lot more lings. And this is looking good actually for Cheesy. If he can get more of his banelings up here 1 at a time, he might actually just eventually starve his opponent, eyekenspelSG, to death, and this Baneling could actually take out a lot more units here. These Lings getting sent in one by one, and a stream of Banelings gonna come into the mineral line. If he can get another shot here, it will be huge, and oh, he barely misses that. He could have gotten some huge hits up here. Now gonna send in all these drones to the expansion, and if this Baneling actually detonates on these drones, it will be huge. It will spell disaster. There are a lot of injured drones here, and there it goes. He kills 4 drones. You can see the income tab, 10 to 13 harvesters. And now Cheesy just getting the advantage, and there are a lot of Lings and Banelings making their way to the main base of eyekenspel. And again, it will come down to these Banelings. If they can get some nice huge hits here, these Lings are in huge jeopardy, and they do die to a single Baneling and not the best control, and this has to be game. And there you go, eyekenspel knows it. He actually leaves the game without GGing, and our hero pro player xSixCheesy will be moving on to the round 3 of the tournament. So great play here by him. He really knows his stuff and showed us how it's done. So thanks for watching, and tune in for more games in the future, guys.